Jeans were not created to be fashionable. They were made for minors, designed to get dirty, and absolutely not meant to end up in runaways or luxury fashion ads. But yet, here we are. At different points in history, jeans were seen as rebellious or even vulgar. They were banned and criticized and then copied by everyone. So, how did a simple blue work pants become the most universal item of clothing in the world? Let's talk about the history of denim. The word jeans actually comes from the city of Genoa in Italy. In the 19th century, a fabric known as jean, which was made of cotton and linen and was similar to corduroy, was produced there. And at the time, the Republic of Genoa was famous for exporting this textile all across Europe. And seeing this success, weavers in the city of Nîmes in France tried to reproduce a similar textile, but they didn't quite succeed. Still, they named this textile Denim, which eventually became denim. And this fabric was originally made of silk and linen. The iconic blue color of jean came from a dye called blue di Genova or blue of Genoa, which was naturally obtained thanks to plants like indigo, and that's where the term blue jeans come from. Now let's talk about riveted jeans and the history of riveted jeans. In 1851, Levi Strauss left Germany for New York to join his brother's family business. Not long after that, he moved to San Francisco to open a new branch in the West Coast that was called Levi Strauss & Co. It was the time of the gold rush and miners needed really durable clothing for extremely harsh working conditions. Meanwhile, in Reno, Nevada, a tailor named Jacob Davis was trying to design trousers that were strong enough to support this kind of work. And so to do that, he used denim fabric that was supplied by Levi Strauss and Company, but he was faced with a problem that was the tearing of the pockets. And so he came up with a solution that was both simple and revolutionary. He reinforced the corners of the pockets with metal rivets. The invention became an immediate success, and in 1872, Davis suggested filing a patent, but since he couldn't afford it on its own, he partnered with Levi Strauss. So they patented the design together and the riveted jean was born. So jeans were first and foremost meant for workwear because they were originally made with tough, long-lasting materials, and they were mostly worn by laborers, farmers, and miners. And during World War II, they were mostly worn by factory workers, and they continued to be popular after the war. In the 1950s, jeans became a symbol of rebellion, mostly thanks to Hollywood, and it was a form of fashion protest. Actors like James Dean or Marlon Brando popularized jeans in films like Rebel Without a Cause and The Wild One, wearing iconic models like Levi's 501. And so jeans became a way to insert identity and rebellion. Then came Elvis Presley in 1957 in Jailhouse Rock. He appeared dressed entirely in denim in a prison as a prisoner. He was a very popular figure at the time, so everybody wanted to wear jeans thanks to him. And so now this rebellious image of jeans became mainstream. But ironically, in a still very Puritan America, jeans were soon banned in school, theaters, or restaurants. In the 1960s and 70s, jeans made a big comeback in fashion. They were worn by men, women, and children from all social classes. They were really popular amongst hippies, especially in flare cuts, and they were heavily customized in embroidery, beads, and flowers, becoming a big symbol of the peace and love movement. In the 1970s and 1980s, punk and heavy metal movements took over. Bands like the Sex Pistols pushed a rougher aesthetic, and so jeans became ripped and faded. In the 1980s marked the rise of distressed denim, achieved through sun washing and sunblasting, which is a technique that is now known as highly controversial and dangerous. By the 1990s, jeans were no longer just clothing, it was marketing and image. On one side, there were controversial Calvin Klein campaigns that pushed jeans into a new cultural space, mixing sexuality, youth, and provocation with figures like Brooke Shields, Kate Moss, and Mark Wahlberg. Denim became about desire as much as style, and at the same time, a new wave of fashion-driven denim brands emerged. Labels like Diesel, Miss 60, and Pepe jeans transformed jeans into a trend-led product, playing with different cuts and washes. Denim was no longer just blue and straight, it became more experimental. The 2000s took things even further because it was basically the era of excess, and the total denim look dominated pop culture. Denim jackets, denim skirts, denim dresses, denim jeans. Sometimes it was all worn at once. And if there is one moment that sums it up, it's Justin Timberlake and Britney Spears at the 2001 AMAs, dressed in head-to-toe matching denim looks. This period also saw the explosion of extreme washes. There were bleached, extremely distressed jeans that perfectly captured the Y2K essence. By the 2010s, denim shifted again. Skinny jeans became a kind of uniform. Around 2015, 2016, we saw the rise of mom jeans. They were high-waisted, more relaxed, inspired by 19s nostalgia. It was a reaction to the ultra tight silhouette of the previous decades. And now, what do we see in terms of jeans? We're clearly in a baggier, low rise era with looser fits and drop waist that could be a reference to Y2K. I think that it also made its way to the 2025-2026 wardrobe because it's more comfortable than mom jeans and skinny jeans. We know that fashion keeps looping back on itself, reinventing old shapes for a new generation. But one thing that never changes is that jeans always reflect the mood of the moment. Let me know what you thought, if you have any comments, and if you learned something new in this video. And I'll see you next week for a different one. Take care.